So speaking of digging through dirt on billionaires, I was combing through the Swiftly Neutral subreddit. Have you
All
ever been
right.
on this subreddit?
No. Should I see this?
So Reddit is good in doses. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on there because it quickly devolves into a garbage wasteland of I feel like 90% of Reddit is people that joined a subreddit as a fan of something and then they slowly stop becoming a fan of that thing
Yeah,
because of the subreddit.
I can
But
see that.
just because of Taylor Swift and listening to the debate, I was going through the Swiftly Neutral subreddit, which by their own definition is supposed to be a place for non-fans and also Swifties to discuss controversial Taylor topics.
Good. Yeah.
And one of the main criticisms that keeps popping up in the subreddit is that people think Taylor is either blissfully unaware of the power of her fan base or purposely sicks them on certain enemies. And one example is there was an actor on a show. She told a joke about Taylor Swift that was written for her about something like that person runs through more men than Taylor
Yeah.
Swift.
I remember this. Yeah.
Taylor tweeted about it, and then her fans attacked the actor on Instagram who said the line, didn't necessarily write the line, but she was the one who said it on the show. And then people were arguing back and forth of does she know the power of her fan base? Is she purposely doing this? Is it a little bit of both? And I wanted to ask you as a Swiftie, what are your thoughts on Taylor Swift and her level of awareness over the power of her own fan base? Basically, is Taylor
Yeah.
secretly the satanic overlord of the Swifties?
That would make her sound so much cooler.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be so metal, right? Like,
yeah,
um,
100%.
I don't think she's that metal, but maybe. I don't know. She does say that she's a mastermind here. Um, I think there is something interesting about how people react to the Swiftie fan base. And I think some of it is probably well deserved, but some of it's like, how to say this? So, overwhelmingly, the Swiftie fan base is women. Um, and people will be like, oh, it's like basic, or like there's this kind of like, that's so cringe. It's like so cheesy or whatever. It's like pumpkin spice latte season. I'm going to walk around Target, which, like,
Yeah,
by the way, I am that woman. Like, that is like, I love pumpkin spice lattes.
yeah.
Everything in my house is from Target. Like, that stuff is great. It's
There you
so
go.
normy. Like, they'd be like, oh, like, it's so normal. And I feel like there's this kind of like misogynistic impulse in doing that where people want to like degrade stuff that women like for some
Mm,
reason. They want to make it seem low status to be like prototypically feminine in this way. And I think that that's like part of how people react to the fan base. Although part of what they're picking up on about that kind of prototypical femininity is valid because there are ways of interacting among women in terms of like managing these like really finely grained social dynamics that can be like really hurtful to people, even if it's not violent. Like it could be violent through like social exclude, like not violent, but it could be like harmful to people through like socially excluding them or ostracizing them or insulting them or criticizing them. And it's not violating anybody's rights, but you know, it is like it'd be really hard on people.
yeah.
And I think that that kind of like power en masse, it makes people uncomfortable. And like I get it. Like maybe that should make people uncomfortable. And it's like a very like feminine form of like collective action that could be like, yeah, like it could be really harmful to some people. And I think that like some of like the reason that people push back against like the Swiftie fan base, it's like, yeah, maybe they just want to like degrade stuff that like women are about, but maybe there is also some kind of like new point that people make about like the way that women are aggressive towards each other,
Yeah.
towards other women or whatever, that they're trying to articulate. And then it kind of comes off as like, I don't like Starbucks.
Yeah.
But it's like, but they are, maybe people have like a kind of discomfort with that. And like, I also like feel that. Like, I do think that like that could be like pretty unhealthy as like a dynamic in a community.